that was my attempt at one of them. What do we say to parents? Jackie, let me ask you before I come to Guillermo and Donna, how you practically do that in East St. Louis at your center. You talked earlier about the fact that you don't just work with kids, but their parents as well. How do you, baseline, deliver this kind of message? How do you engage parents? Because I'm thinking about East St. Louis. I know Baltimore relatively well, and there are elements of East St. Louis that exist in Baltimore. You got poor communities. The whole scenario that Jan just laid out is how parents try to navigate their lives in East St. Louis, just as they do here in Baltimore. At a practical level, talk to me about how you communicate, how you engage, how do you educate parents at the center?
Well, we educate parents by dealing with what we have. We really try not to focus on what we don't have or what can't be done for us, but what can we do for ourselves. So we implement different programs and working with the parents, bringing the kids in, working with the local universities and some of the people that come over and volunteer and just teach the kids and the parents basic ways of making a meal, even if the parent away, but it still is safe. And making sure, they don't burn down the house, the kids, if the parents are not if the parents are not there. So it's basically having that mentality. Don't listen to people that say, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't have this. East St. Louis, we know, is a devastated area, and people always talk about how bad it is. But let's show people what good can come from here, what we can do. So it's really focusing on what we have, and not let everybody else worry about what we don't have and what we can't do, but do what we can to the best of our ability and be happy with that. But it's bringing in the parents, as well as we have a senior program too, because I do believe, in the senior with the physical fitness and also working with the mind, but also for our young kids to see, their parents, but then also their grandparents too, so they can create these, when I said habits versus behaviors, so they can change some of the behaviors, but then also the kids can be a reinforced to the parent. If the parent is off path or not on the right journey, say, well, mom, dad, they talked about that at the center, where we shouldn't be doing that, or we taking shortcuts, or, keeping a journal, writing it down, bringing it back and discussing it.
Donna, you and Risa want to add, y'all start with you, sure. This is Donna, yeah.
I agree with what everyone has said, because even when you were speaking about it on my husband's show, you mentioned how parents have to be accountable, and a lot of parents got upset with you. But they do have to lead by example. In the Bible it says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart. So you have to set that example in the house. I mean, right now we have 65% of America overweight or obese, and 16% of our kids are overweight. So it starts at home. So one of the things you can do is make better health choices, meaning make sure you're bringing in food that's has more nutritional value. Make sure if you are telling your kids to go out and play, you go out and play with your kids. And when we look at the statistics, it shows that kids that eat outside their home are consuming twice as many calories as they would if they eat at home. Then even on a school level, as parents, we need to intervene. When you look at the lack of physical activity not being in most school systems right now, 92% of grade schools do not have physical activity daily. So we need to go to the PTA boards meetings, we need to talk to the state and local reps, whoever the decision makers are, we need to lobby to get physical education back into the school system. And then even when you look at churches and community centers, we have to intervene there. If your church doesn't have programs for your kids, or if your community center doesn't have it, let's talk to the pastors and the directors to get those programs back in there. If you have a talent, why can't you volunteer your services to start a program? My talent is fitness. I have a program called Sweating in the Spirit. And the goal of that is to show us how we can strengthen our mind, our body, and our spirit, because it is wholeness and health. And when you talk about being healthy, it's from the inside. It's not just about looking a certain way. It doesn't matter what shape, size, age, or color you are. It's important to be healthy. So I think parents, it starts with us being responsible and showing our kids, because if we instill the virtues of a healthy lifestyle while they're young, they carry those values into adulthood.
Before I go to Risa and then back to Guillermo, let me remind you that